Nuggets.
Hello, welcome back to our Pathfinder Second Edition campaign, session 42. Is that right? I
Ooh,
think
yeah,
so.
We're
yeah,
gonna.
yeah.
It's gonna
No,
be.
41. Wait, oh no, 42, 42.
It is 42.
It's
So,
gonna be
don't question me.
purely. It's gonna be purely a session of pondering the meaning of life.
Yeah, we're all going to be wondering what Hanera's doing and have Mike having to come up with something.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Hanero's here with us all in spirit.
Hello, I'm Panera. She's always with
Um,
us. She's behind you, including you, viewer at home. Look to the left. Open the cupboard.
Aye.
Now go outside.
Right, well, that was strange. If everyone is ready to get going, then let us begin, shall we?
Sure.
Right, so need to try and work out where the hell we were from after last session. Last we left our heroes, you had just arrived in the city of Lenora, known as the Emerald City, the capital of Adana. You have been gathering your bearings, you've found places to stay, you began putting your plans into action. We had Cascus and Hanera going to the Palace of the Prophet to hand over the basically the mission that they had come all this way for in the first place, to start up negotiations around how the elves might help the Adana Merchant Company. So you met with Darren Kaidas, who was sat on behalf of the Padrin, taking petitions from the elves and nobles and you lot. And he told you all. Well, he basically just sent you off and said, "We'll get in touch." Later on, Vinail went to just scout out the sewer networks underneath the palace, so that when at some point you do decide you want to go and break into Darren Kaidas's museum, kind of, I guess, is how Cadell described it. You would know where to go. And you discovered Darren Kaidas talking with someone secretly under the sewers, this kind of strange cloaked figure who kind of revealed a little bit of information. We can go over, I mean, it's in the chat. But effectively that Darren Kaidas kind of is suspicious, at least, of Hanera, who used a fake name, not to give away her position. This cloaked figure saying that clearly there was more to this plan of Darren Kaidas's, or there was more to some plan, whatever was going on, than had first been assumed, and said that he was going to take care of the Padrin's mother, who had been a bit of an issue with their control of the Padrin. And then you also went and saw Lorandon in the Emerald Armory, who gave you a bunch of letters, didn't he, about a group of people called the Fold who had been threatening him recently. That was the only clue, I guess, he had of who could have potentially been messing with his golems. Although he did say that they're explicitly anti-golem, right? They're anti-technology. You also went down into the Undercity to see what's going on down there. A strange departure of just a very different kind of nature down there. You went to the Temple of Forgotten Lore, where you saw followers of the Trespasser, who run the Gauntlet down there, the Whisperleaf Collective, they're known as. And they basically gave you the rundown of how, if you wanted to take part in the Gauntlet, you could, and that they might be interested in adventurers for further tasks. So that was your day. You met up at the end to have a bit of a chat at the Head's Heavy Rest. So maybe we'll just catch on from there. If there was anything anyone wants to talk about.
Yes, just for a bit more context, when we did meet up in the last session, just to catch us up, we explained, or you guys explained, what Whisperleaf Conclave are about.
The Whisperleaf Collective.
Collective, sorry, and the fact that they kind of run the Gauntlet. You mentioned there's a rebellion brewing in the Undercity, and that Terranite against his son won't go. His son would do. I'm I need to clarify that.
Yeah, that's Duranda Ignis.
Yeah.
So Terranat Ignis is the head of House Ignis.
Yeah.
Duranda Ignis is his heir and eldest son.
Hmm.
Who, by all accounts, has been leading this invasion into the southern regions of Akate.
Yep.
Yeah, so hopefully, Alex, you're all caught up. There might be some more nuance needed.
Yeah.
That's what you missed on.
So yes, the head's heavy rest as it comes into the evening is rather quiet. You found a table to speak at. Been given some food for your troubles. What would you all like to do?
What are your plans tomorrow?
Well, I wanted to have a look at these tree huggers, as our dear friend put them, and maybe have a closer look at the exterior of the garrison, see if I can make out guard patterns.
That sounds sensible. Probably best if I do not accompany you, nor Rhaenyra. Do you need support?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, I would like to use tomorrow to build connections and continue to work a bit of a network within the institution. As you recall, my goal at the moment is to try and take a meeting with Princess Renda, cousin to the Padman, among a couple others.
As I mentioned before, you should keep an eye out for the mother, see what you can learn there. If she's in danger and we help her out, that's a very powerful friend.
Right, I agree. So I will be spending most of my time at the palace and amongst the what's the district called? Amongst the Sun District.
Sounds like an idea.
Anyone else got any suggestions?
Not really sure.
Cool. All right. Well, in that case, we'll go to the next day, shall we?
I think so. I mean, I'll go back to Kira and I will go back to the whatchamacallit, the Might and Fine Inn, and go to our luxurious bedrooms and laugh at you all for not having those.
Yeah, sure. You spend a nice, calm evening walk heading back to the Mice and Fine. Make me a perception check, Cascade.
Okay. I mean, I would have been trying to be a little bit careful on this.
Yeah.
God, so cool. Pursuit leads now +2 bonus. 25.
Okay. Walking back to the Might and Fine, you don't obviously being on guard, that you might be being watched. No one seems to be following you. Not particularly crazy sort of things happen whilst you're going over to the Mice and Fine. You are as you get into the inn, Seraphina gives you a nod as you walk to your rooms, or to your room, and you rest your head and get a good night's sleep. As for the rest of his heavy rest, anything planned?
I think any spare time, Cass will be continuing to work on the striking rune.
Cool.
So that's 2 days done. I believe he makes the crafting check on the 4th day. However, he has assurance, so he will just auto-succeed that.
Okay. In that case, we're going to the 90th day of spring. the last day of spring.
What is there? There's no festival, is there?
The
There's summer
festival is
tunes.
the day after.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's- yeah.
So the festival. So you, as you walked back to the Might and Fine, you noticed that the last preparations for the festival in the Sun District are being set up.
Very nice.
Bunting, various carts and traveling merchants, and like sort of kind of circus tents have been popped up. But nothing open just yet.
Excellent. Kind of note to Hanira as we go back that we should have a look around.
And it was like, I just want to rest for a day.
Fine.
All right, in that case, you all awaken the next day on the 19th day of spring. It does feel like it's getting warm now. The sun is rises quite high in the sky, bathing you all in a golden light as you awaken. The sounds of just the general life in the city, boats mooring and bells ringing and people going about their daily business, awaken you as the day is yours to do whatever you wish. Henning, what would you like to do today, if anything?
Didn't have anything specifically planned. But
You go with Cyan, I guess.
yeah, go with
I mean, there's downtime actions and stuff you can do if you don't have anything else.
yeah, I don't have anything else.
Okay, well, have a think. We'll go to someone else then. So, Cyan, sorry, did you say that what were you planning on doing?
I had two things on my to-do list. First
Right.
of all was to investigate this collective of people who don't like our good friend Lorandon.
The Fold.
The Fold, yes. Investigate them. And maybe later tonight, investigate the outside of the garrison. See if I can notice anything about, like, fruit patterns and things.
Okay. What would you prefer to do first?
I think I want to investigate the Fold first.
Okay. Are you going to go on your own, or are you inviting other people along with you?
Well, if anyone else wants to come around, the idea is we're not going. If people do want to come around, Cyan will mention that the idea is not to just jump in and start hammering folks. He wants to just figure out what people want, what the whole deal is. But yeah,
Hello?
people can come around if they want.
Okay.
Well, it
I mean,
sounds
it's
like
just,
Calcifer-
it's just Calcifer and Henning with you at the moment.
Yeah, probably best not to stick out too much, so Calcifer will stay behind.
Sure. Henning, do you want to go along?
I can.
Okay. Right, in that case, you know that they're in the River District. You don't know much else about them. Cyan. So what's your strategy?
So, I know that they worship nature and they're in the River District. I feel like a religious organization, something like that, would want to. They would either be looking towards the poor, or they would want to look towards the nature, the natural areas of the River District. I think they mentioned in one of their letters that they have like a special grove or something. They mentioned the Forgotten Grove.
Yeah.
So I'm going to beggars. Are there any beggars around the River District?
So walking over there, it's going to take you a little time to get there. So you make your way to the tunnel, which is this. Oh, Castle is in the way. Big, sprawling, ancient stone tunnel that goes through a mountain. A whole number of carts and traders and travelers are just sort of making their way through, as well as there's a number of guards, as well as some of the stone guard who are standing by each end of the tunnel watching as you enter. As you begin walking through, a couple of guards approach you. And just they want to just search you. They say, "Make sure you're not carrying any contraband."
Henning thinks to himself, "Do I have any contraband?"
Would I know what they would consider contraband in this place?
They're probably looking for a Kidian.
Ah, I don't have any of that on me, but feel free to have a look.
They search your belongings. They notice your weapons. They give you a bit of a strange look. But yeah, they don't find anything necessarily out of sorts. Same for you, Henning. And eventually they stand aside and let you through. Eventually, you make your way to the River District. So the River District of Lenora is a vibrant district, a neighborhood, nestled along the banks of this massive meandering river. The district stands as a sort of like testament to the harmonious coexistence with nature. There's a blend of elven architecture, serene waterways, and there's a lot of greenery here, including huge trees, which you couldn't quite notice from the central district because of the sort of bowl of mountains around it. But as you make your way into the river district, you come out into a very green area that has buildings on kind of large rocky outcroppings that a huge river flows between.
I cannot see.
Oh, no.
I can't see.
Do you want
I'm
to
blind.
overtake and...
Yes, I can.
I'm legally
I've got
blind.
it. There we go.
There we
Usually
go.
if you jump out and in, it works, doesn't it?
Oh, you got it.
Can see now.
Oh, I need to turn the grid off actually on this.
Oh, I
Just
do not
realised.
see a grid.
Well, there's
When you move, I assume it's like...
yeah.
Ah.
Okay. So make me an investigation check just to get your bearings. Maybe ask around.
Investigation.
Is that,
I don't think there's an investigation.
Perception, sorry.
Okay, perception.
oh. Oopsie.
28.
Okay, so Cyan, asking around a little bit for the Forgotten Grove, you're directed north through a small kind of riverside community in this area, up to the bark and roots of an absolutely huge oak tree that the other side of is known as the Forgotten Grove. So if you wanted to go further into the river district, you could go south and then go across these like makeshift bridges. Or north is where it seems that you might want to be going if you want to find the fold.
I'll go north.
Cool.
While I was asking around about where the Forgotten Grove is, I would have liked to have asked some of the people there if they know of a group called the Fold.
As you're walking through this riverside community, living in kind of naturey kind of tree houses, huts made out of kind of branches of trees, leaves, roots, mud, and the like. There's a little well in the center collecting water. As you approach, an old elf, kind of hunched over a woman, collecting a pail of water. You ask her that question. She turns to you and says, "The Fold? Why do you want to have business dealings with them?"
I have a look around and I say,
You say.
Can I get first of all, when I mention it, can I like do a sense motive or a perception check to see if I get like an overall reaction from her when I first say that?
Sure. Sense motive is perception, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Give me a perception check.
22.
She seems to know more than she's giving on, but her question is legitimate. She wants to know what business you have with them.
Okay, I have a look around and I say, well, times are changing. Lots of things are changing, and a lot of that beauty around us is vanishing. I wanted to know what. Last I heard, they were a group that knew what they were talking about, and I wanted to get their opinion on matters.
Make a deception check. Is it diplomacy? Is there deception? I can't remember.
Yeah, I think there is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, make me a deception check.
Hey. "21.
She narrows her eyes at you. She says, "It is a great sin to lie in front of the Eldertree."
Ah, you got me. You got me. And I kind of put my hands out as a kind of not so much of a frustration thing and more of a you sussed me out kind of way.
You are a foreigner, correct? She looks at you and then she looks at Henning.
We're both from away.
She snaps her fingers and a young elven boy runs over. She whispers something in the boy's ear and says, "Give your weapons to the boy. He will keep them safe. I will guide you."
Oh.
I just kind of nod at Henning and I hand over my weapons.
Hang on, doesn't Henning's weapon just sort of appear when he wants it? So
Yeah.
this kind of goes. Well, I haven't got any weapons to give you. Actually, no, I do have this. He gives him the flintlock. He's got in his pocket. That's all I've got.
And the rest of your bags.
I don't know about this sound.
We don't mean them any harm.
We might not mean them harm.
Damn, this could be the easiest mugging ever.
Look,
We are
Old lady.
quite willingly-
No, old lady.
Just never sees them again.
We are quite eagerly handing over all our possessions to someone we have just met.
after I've committed such a grave sin, it's fine. We'll be fine.
I'm holding you accountable if I don't ever get this back.
That's fine.
Fine. And he just takes off the bag and chucks it at the kid.
The boy takes your things and then retreats into some crag in the rock side.
Well, never
Like,
seen
whee!
that
What a haul!
He's just like, yeah, look what we found with these fucking weird foreigners. The old
Well,
lady,
tourists, am I right?
the old lady beckons you to follow her, and she begins to hobble through the dusty streets leading into the kind of forest of the Forgotten Grove. It's a strange location. There's plants everywhere, some of which are plants that you would expect in a kind of jungle / foresty area, and some of them are just like well tended to flowers. Doesn't seem to be many people actually tending to them. There's a kind of overgrown, wild look about this area. But every now and again, you do see people, especially in the tree above you, kind of running from branch to branch and going into little holes inside the tree. The old lady, as she walks you down, she says, "So, speak it true. What is it that you wished to discover about the fold?"
Well, it wasn't a complete and total lie. I do want to know what you're all about. But also, there's a matter of grave import that I need to discuss.
Then discuss it, she says as she keeps walking.
On our way in, we were waylaid by a couple of golems. They they looked very similar to the golems of this city. This watch, this guard, and they seem to have roots and vines running through them. When we brought this up to Lorandon, he mentioned your group. I'm just trying to understand what's happening. I don't know if what he says is true and your group is responsible.
Why do you assume it's my group?
It's what he mentioned, and I'm not one for investigations. But I do know that whenever you're given the lead, you need to have a look at it.
She hears what you say. She continues walking and continues leading you, and then she leads you up to the actual base of the tree itself. An absolutely huge, sprawling wooden bark shoots out of the ground in front of you. You know, the tree itself from this position looks. You can't even see the top. The branches, the canopy is probably at least 60 foot above you, maybe even higher. She knocks on just a bit of the bark. You can't quite tell if there's any gaps in there or anything, but before you know it, a tiny bit of the wood slides open, and like you can see an eye poking through. It closes upon seeing the old lady, and then a kind of glowing arcane line begins to form on the bark of the tree itself, making an arch. Once it touches the bottom, the tree itself kind of opens up and reveals a kind of corridor that goes in. She says, "If you wish to discover more about the fold, then enter."
I do so.
Oh god. Okay.
It's a dark, twisting tunnel that runs through the base of the tree itself. There's a kind of spiraling nature of it. It's not necessarily it's not steps. It's like a ramp that kind of goes around I guess kind of in a spiral shape up through the tree. You walk and you walk and you walk. It feels like you've been walking, after about 10 minutes, it feels like it just keeps going. And then after a little while, and once you start to get out of breath, and the old lady has since remained at the base of the tree, it opens up into a large wooden cavern, I guess is the only way to describe it. Lit on all sides by kind of arcane glowing lanterns that have tiny little flickers of what seem to be maybe like fireflies in them, or some sort of glowing insect of some sort, casting a glow across the wall. The cavern itself, like this, is like a circular room. There's not any furniture. There's not any real. It's almost just hollowed out of the tree. There's no necessarily way of going forward. You just enter into this room and you're looking around and don't quite know what to do with yourself. But after a little moment, another one of these glowing blue arches opens up, and walking out is two what seem to be elven men covered in cloaks. So they're wearing these sort of dark brown cloaks with sashes around them. They just sort of stand at the other end of the room and just kind of look at you. They turn to each other and nod, and then they both step forward. One of them says, "You have come to join the fold?"
I've come to know more about your mission and to hopefully have some questions answered.
And ask your questions. One of them says.
I hand him the letters from Lorandon's. Do you have any... Do you have anything to say on the contents in these letters and related to any tampering with golems?
"We have noticed your dealings with Lorandon," one of them says. The other one then says, "As foreigners to this land, you will understand the importance of staying neutral in such matters. Times are soon to change, and it is for your best interests that you both leave Lenora and never return." The other one says, "Do not make us your enemy."
I don't want to make any enemies. I just want to know why we were attacked.
They look at each other. Make a diplomacy check.
Diplomacy. $23.
Henning just really resisting action to burn down. She's a tree. Francis like, do it, do it, do it.
Oh,
Must not.
Just any tree over a certain size.
That's good.
One of the figures says, "We never intend to harm innocents. If you were attacked, it is because you were not innocent."
So you did tamper with the golems.
They refuse to answer that.
Why have you been tampering with such golems?
They don't answer that either.
It's pretty brave.
One of them speaks up and says, if this is the path you truly wish to understand, I recommend you do it from afar. The nature of this city is one that you will never understand, as you are not an elf, and neither is he."
Very perceptive of you.
What gave it away?
The Eldertree sees through all lies.
I see.
Its roots delve into the depths of the earth, where everything is known.
So you can't answer us why you attacked us. But I do know you take your beliefs rather well, meaning you can't lie here. You just refuse to answer.
That much is true.
Do you plan insurrection?
If we were, do you promise to leave?
I might.
Then promise, and we will tell you what you seek.
Leave the city, you mean, or just this tree?
Swear to leave the dealings of the elves to the elves. For the Sidan to the Sidan.
The dealings of the Sidan have harmed my people. The dealings of the Sidan are the dealings of my people.
Then we might have more in common than we first thought. Swear it under the Eldertree that you will support us in the sight of the roots that delve into the earth, and we will tell you everything that you wish to know. Promise to support us in our goal, and we will forgive any trespassers.
But how can I swear such a thing without knowing what you're standing for?
Is that not the nature of faith?
I've had faith in a lot of things. And it got me a burnt home in the ground and 5 years of hiding. I don't put much ground in faith.
The roots of the Eldertree delves even deeply into your own people, into your own cities. We have many supporters, not just elves. You would do well to join us and cast aside these heretical beliefs of the Sidon and their prophets.
What beliefs do you hold heretical?
The other one speaks. Which beliefs do we not hold heretical? This is a colonized land. This is one where even the gods have twisted what it means to be elf. What it means to be truly at one with nature. The second one says, there are those who were here before and will rise again. Ones that care not for hierarchy, who care not for the High Lords and their hexweaves. They will be punished, as it is foretold. Any of those who stand in our way are our enemies.
These. Do you speak of the old gods?
That is the Sidon name for them. They are not old or new. They are always here, and they always have been. And they are waiting.
So that includes a shad?
That is an elven name for them. We do not recognize it.
I'm sorry, I don't know any other names. What do you call him?
Such beings do not have names as we know them. They are only forces of nature. The power they grant allows us to live truly at one with nature. It is the force of nature.
Can we be allowed to think it over?
The Eldertree knows all and knows your heart's desires. It will be you who will be judged. We do not judge.
What does that mean?
But you understand our. He thinks for a moment. Predicament. You two are foreigners. Your dealings are not welcome here. Even if you were to join us, we would send you far away to do other biddings. Our demands have not changed in that regard. If you do not leave, we will assume that you are not with us.
There are things we are dealing with that have taken us here which would ruin this world. There would be no forces of nature if it's gone.
The Eldertree guides, and we follow. We understand the threats to this world, and we put our trust in the ones that lived before. And we put our trust in the Eldertree. It is time for you to make a choice. Leave the city immediately, and we will consider you allies. We will be in touch if you do leave.
That's not a decision we alone can make.
It is a decision for every individual to make. That is your travelling companions too. The Eldertree knows them and their wishes.
Burn the tree.
I heard that.
The tree.
Yeah, not gonna lie, this tree's kind of begging to be burnt down.
I mean, take a vote on it.
We can't leave. There's things that that go further than this.
Then we have no more to speak of. The opening in the bark opens up, and the two of them leave. Only the tunnel out of the tree remains.
Well,
Shit.
they're certainly your characters, aren't they?
Oh, let's not talk about them here.
No, I thought we could talk about it right here where they can hear us. I thought that'd be a really good idea. Of course we're going to talk.
I take it we leave.
Okay, so you make your way back down the tunnel. On your way out, you notice your bags just piled up on the outside of the tree. Nothing seems to have been missing.
See, I told you it'd be fine.
You didn't know that. There's no way you could.
I am very perceptive.
Nyx appears.
Oh.
Where did you go?
We went in the tree. You
Oh,
didn't come into the tree?
I feel like something stopped me. I feel like I disappeared. I feel like I didn't exist. while you
Oh,
were-
that's bad. I am so sorry. That does not sound pleasant.
What happened?
Well, they wanted us to leave the city, and, well, they didn't answer if they were planning open rebellion or not. I do know they couldn't lie in there, and they just refused to answer. And I think that's about as close to the truth as we're going to get. They spoke of an elder tree, and that they seemed to serve the old gods.
The old gods.
Looks
That's-
like a shard.
That's not good, Cyan.
Yeah, I kind of got that.
You don't understand. I lived during the Age of Gods. I was there when the... I lived when a shard was banished. Feels like a long time ago now. It is not... It is nothing like you would ever imagine it. Millions of elementals. Volcanoes erupting. So many dead.
It's like people are at a race to blow up Adonai.
It's different to the gloom. The gloom, if it spills over, it will change everything. It will blend the two realms together. It could cause chaos, that's for sure, but if Ashad was freed, Erd would return back to its primordial state before Fandaren arrived.
Oh, that's worse. Oh, that is so much worse. So everyone dies.
I don't know.
At the very least, end of civilization as we know it.
It would just be different. Nature would there would be no civilization. It would be impossible. We would be beholden to the whims of nature. Storms and destruction, and it would be possible to live, but there would be no quality of life.
So, not so much living and more just surviving.
But Ashad cannot be freed. It's impossible. I don't know what their plans are, but
Don't ever say anything is impossible. I swear that just makes the universe want to make it possible.
it can't be done. Pandaren, he made it so only the blood of a god, of one of the gods, can free him.
Sorry, can free Ashad.
Can free Ashad. Only one of the blood, only the blood of one of the gods can free Ashad. There is none with that blood. Fandaren was destroyed completely. So were the others.
There is a strange cult to the trespasser.
Trespasser. She's gonna do a history check or religion check.
Can Henning do one too? That might be something you'd recognize.
You can, but obviously Nix's knowledge on these things might be a bit greater than yours.
Probably.
Nix did get an F20. Yeah, FYI.
I mean, Henning's not fighting Nyx for it.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to do one.
Oh, I guess.
Enough said.
I don't know what that is. What's that?
So, Nick says, the trespasser is no god.
I seem to think so. What? If she's not a god, what is she? They.
The trespasser is an immortal elf, like the Kayada, like Zornakar.
Okay. Okay. The plot thickens. I take it we shouldn't bring this up to the Whisperleaf Collective if we want to keep our heads.
Those who are immortal are often worshipped as gods. It was how many survived the dark times after the fall of the gods. They worshipped those who had power and immortality. They are, to the average mortal, just indistinguishable from gods. But the reason that Fandarin's blood, or Anciliara, or Io, or whoever, the reason their blood is important is because their blood is the creating force that binds all mortals. And it is that which keeps Ashad away. It is the fact there are mortals who, I don't know how to describe it, whose power keeps Ashad in his grave.
So they're like living locks.
Yes. And only a drop of Fandaran's blood can reverse that seal, and obviously that would cause it would cause all sorts of disasters. It would sever the link between mortals and divine magic. For one.
Oh. So, regardless of whether it's possible or not, I think these people will tear apart everything to get some of that sweet, sweet god blood.
The sweet shit.
We should have a closer look at the lore of that tree. It seems remarkably powerful.
Agreed. So you're going to head back?
Yeah.
Okay. So you spend your time walking back to the central district. Cascus, what are you doing?
So I think Haskis is. I mean, he's going to kind of ignore all the revelry in the Sun District for now. Fairly sharpish to the castle, not least because of the business he wants to do, but also because the words that Cyan reported on from his meeting, or when he's overheard the conversation with Darren is kind of playing through his head a bit. Particularly the stuff around the fact that Padron's mother could be being dealt with rather swiftly. And I guess in his mind that shifted his calculation over where he should be targeting. So I think he's going to kind of try and, first of all, kind of hang out in the palace using his ambassador's credentials. He's trying to look for the mother effectively, or any clue of where she might be. It could be talking to people, and then I can use the feat where I ask a question. I can't remember what the name is, but like the indirect question feat.
Yeah.
To try and ascertain where she might be.
Cool.
I don't know how many hours that might take or whatever.
What do you need to do for that?
Indirect question is bring it up. Discrete inquiry. So gather information. So when gather information, you can hide the true subject of inquiry. So I'll do a gather information check, which is a diplomacy roll, and you can determine that. It takes a number of hours. So I mean, we can roleplay or whatever. I don't mind, but basically, it's just in the palace, trying to figure out where she could be. So let me do a diplomacy check. I got master on this now. Woohoo! All right, that's a big roll. That's 36.
36.
Yep.
So you're trying to find out where Zadine Hafendar is, right?
That's correct. Yes, Zadine Hafender. Yep.
All right. So you make your way into the Palace of the Prophet. You walk into the chambers that you were in yesterday, where again Darren Kaidos is busy at work, just taking petitions from people. As you walk in, you notice that there is an ambassador from what seems like House Rexus there speaking, saying, My lord, this is the third time I have petitioned you. The council needs to hear about the plight suffered by our people. We have lost... Daron Kaitis raises a hand and says, please, Ambassador, you must understand that we are doing everything we can in the council. Any conflicts between you and your neighbours is not the Padrin's prerogative to deal with. You must deal with them yourselves. And he says, well, then let the Padrin speak. And like everyone sort of hushes for a moment. Daron Kaitis sort of slams down his like scepter that he's got like a scepter next to the throne that sort of represents his authority. He says, while in this chamber, I speak for the Padrin. And the ambassador spits on the ground and says, I recognize no authority but the Padrin's. After a little while, Daron Kaitis nods to one of the guards and says, take him away. Maybe a night in the dungeons will clear your head. And just carries him out. The ambassador's been carried out. Yeah, he's taken further into the palace, down some steps, which you assume is down in the chambers. You overhear at the same time a number of people sort of gossiping amongst themselves, just members of the royal court, saying about how the Padrin hasn't been seen in a couple of weeks. Neither has the mother. That they've sort of locked. The idea is that they might have locked themselves up on the top floor of the palace.
Nice. Okay.
Are you like making your? I mean, you stick out like a sore thumb in here because there's not that many humans around. Are you doing anything to like disguise yourself, or are you just sort of?
I don't think I can. I mean, I can wear like a. I could wear like a hat, maybe. Like the clothing I got. Maybe there was like a hat, maybe not a tricorn.
Yeah, no, I think it's probably the case that you've probably been noticed in there.
But that's fine. I mean,
no, that's cool. Yeah. All right. So as you're sort of just listening in, you overhear someone from the other side of the room saying "you," and then you sort of notice that they're talking at you, and then you see it's Daron Kaitis, sat on the throne. Step forward, Ambassador.
I look around to make sure he's talking to me.
Yeah, he's talking to you.
Of course, hey lord. And he kind of trots up, takes a bow in the same way he did before, and then he kind of looks receptive to whatever Daron has to say.
Daron sits back down on the throne. He seems quite like his face is a bit red, and he seems a bit like worked up. He seems to be a bit more relaxed the second he sits down, and he says, "Come, speak to me. Step forward. Let me speak to you in private."
Very well. And he kind of stands up from his knee, and heads towards wherever he's being directed. I guess he kind of has a quick look around. I feel like probably all the eyes are on. Is there a lot of people watching?
There's maybe like 20 or 30 people in the room.
Okay.
As you approach, he says, "Answer me. How long have you been in the service of Axos Kutaban?"
My lord, I've been in the service of Axos Kutaband since the... oh god. Would Cascus know, like, rough dates of things? I'm trying to recall, like...
Are you planning on being honest with him?
I think I'd be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. So it's sort of been like 60 days or something.
Yeah. Prior to that, I was engaged in a series of mercantile adventures on behalf of various human nations, and clearly my expertise in many such matters attracted the eye of Axos Kutaban.
And what do you think of our great city?
I think it is splendid beyond all measure. I admire your desire to move this city forward, too long have such many peoples of this world stagnated in traditions that are outdated and not fit for the future.
Ha! He turns to the guard on his left and says, "You hear that? These humans have a better idea how to run a state than we do." And the guard sort of nods and says, "Yes, my lord." And he turns to you and says, "We need more people like you in this town. Come, walk with me." He stands and says, I will not take any more petitions today." And he sort of begins to hobble off into the palace.
As we go, especially into areas maybe where the ambassadors wouldn't normally be able to go, Cask is really trying to take like a mental note of like layouts and
Sure.
and where we are.
What's your intelligence? Quite high, right?
It is it's my main stat. It is 19.
Cool. Yeah, I'll say that you can just remember that. All right. Daeron leads you into a sort of into a kind of large hallway behind the main throne room. And as he's sort of walking beside you, he says, "So, if you were to suggest one thing what it would do to create peace and prosperity in this land, what would you suggest?"
If it pleases my lord, and I am speaking freely and honestly, I would suggest that you prioritize the stability of the region to ensure that any such conflict reduces your ability of your great nation to innovate. You see, innovation is useful in a time of war, but only usually in military and medical such matters. For a truly thriving society, stability is important.
He nods. "And say that say you're in charge, say you have my position. Two great houses are at war with each other, and you are supposed to negotiate peace between them, but neither of them seem to want to hear any reason. What do you suggest? They are both equal allies. They are both equally valuable. You cannot take sides."
That is a most troubling predicament, my lord. I must say that any advice I give is bereft of any context to the matter, so please do not take it too seriously. And of course, you yourself would know these matters better than myself.
Do you not just trust your own intellect? Am I speaking with a fool?
My lord, I do not profess to be a fool, but I also profess not to know every matter of this great kingdom. I am, after all, only human. To your quandary, it is the people that give prize to houses in my lands, but it is also the great lords that sit within them. You should remind the lords of the chain of command that exists in this realm, and make them see reason.
And what if they do not listen?
Make them listen. Are you not speaking on behalf of the patron?
I speak on his behalf, but he is just a boy. Sometimes I have to make decisions that he would not understand.
Well, I am known to have quite the silver tongue, and if you would ever want somebody to try and convince the boy, I might be useful.
You are a guest in our lands, but do not see yourself as an elf.
I do not see myself as an elf at all.
You have much to learn about our ways.
I do not doubt that.
How old do you think I am? He stops and looks at you.
Can I do like what kind of test could I do to like guess? Like, I guess it's like a
Just
maybe.
perception, I guess.
But I guess there's something more. No,
Or society.
I'll try perception check. 21. Probably no idea.
So if he was a human, he'd look maybe in his sort of late 60s.
And how long do elves live for? I mean, they live for. The immortal elves obviously live for forever, but. How,
The
I feel like that's something I'd know.
yeah, the elves can. I mean, make a history check.
Okay.
Yes,
There
history.
is no history.
Society.
It would be. I've got mercantile. Oh no, society. Yeah, fine. I'll do that.
Yeah, just use.
Okay. 24.
From what you have heard from Hinera over traveling with her, like elves can live like at the very oldest, maybe about 1500 years.
Okay. An elf of your majesty must be somewhere in the region of 1,000 years.
He laughs. Close. I'm just over 900.
Well, your wisdom betrays that of somebody over 1,000.
I didn't call you here to flatter me.
No, but it is. I'm an ambassador. Huh? It is my natural reflex to do such things.
He finds that funny. He laughs. You should eat with me sometime. I would be very interested to hear any more insights you have.
Can I do a sense motive check on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
This is business I know about Hinera. So it's diplomacy, isn't it? Perception, sorry. Sense motive.
Sense motive is perception, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Oh, that was. I know it doesn't work on the digital dice, but the digital dice was on a nat 20 for like a brief half second.
Yeah, I saw that myself. Clearly wants something. It's almost obvious to say that.
Yeah.
Very hard to say exactly what he wants.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of silly for me to turn it down. It feels like too good of an opportunity. So, Cascus, he raises his eyebrow. It would do me a great pleasure to attend you during dinner. And would it be too presumptuous to assume that we may discuss matters of the human realms and your great kingdom too?
He turns to you and says, "Did you know that when the Battle of Edrin Bay happened, as your people call it, I was not entirely pleased with the outcome?"
Sorry, can you just remind me? So Edrin Bay is...
That was the battle where the merchants came over and the Elven fleet tried to basically just kick them out of Adana. And they were complete. The elves were complete. They just got stomped by the humans and their technological advance.
Yeah. So he wasn't happy with the outcome.
No, he says, but since I have come to know of the humans' advantages, I have come to see them as good allies. Come, walk with me. He leads you down a spiral staircase that seems to be leading towards the dungeons.
Oh, cool. Okay.
As you enter into the dungeons, you hear like screaming coming from various chambers that he just sort of glosses past. But looking in, you see that there's a whole bunch of elves who are chained up, being messed with, not having much food. They seem quite skinny and just sort of almost like skeletons. The stench of death is quite strong down here.
Does he feel? Is he kind of very ambivalent to the whole?
Yeah, this is every day for him.
Yeah,
he's just walking through. Cool. He gets to the end where there's a guard standing outside a chamber door. He speaks with the guard, whispers to the guard for a moment, forward and back, and turns to you and says, There is an ambassador in here. I'm not sure if you heard. That for the last few days has been questioning my judgment.
Is this the Rexus guy?
Yes.
What do you intend to do with him?
Well, what do you suggest I do? You must have heard.
The duty of an ambassador is to represent the people by which he is determined to represent. He is a mouthpiece to a greater mouth. To harm an ambassador, it certainly shows a signal. But it is perhaps unwise to go too far. Doing so would damage recourse and choice of actions down the line, and would betray the institution that surrounds you.
And
Having
what
said
if I was to tell you that House Rexus has been planning to take back your human city of Kelrius all this time?
Hold on, I'm going to write that down before I respond. Well, and I don't think I've heard any mention of that before.
No, it sounds like a lie.
Do you want me to do a test for that?
Well, you know it's quite the opposite. That House Rexus has really been like quite good allies of the humans, and it was actually like the Ignis forces that are clearly trying to take over Kelrius.
Yeah. Well,
He is as much of an enemy to you as he could be potentially be to us. Would that change your perception on the matters?
Let us assume it is true for a second. I do not know. It is a good question. I, on one hand, in any enemy of... There's a merchant prince, isn't there, who's in charge of Kelrius, separate
Yeah.
taxes, right?
Yeah, it's Terran elves.
Yeah. In the same way that elves are not a homogeneous group, nor are the humans. I am ambassador on behalf of Axos Kutaband, and in my current plight, the resources and supplies and things behind the state of Kelrius is obviously very valuable. But if House Rexus offered a more appropriate alternative that would bring Axos Kutaband's aims to a better conclusion, then I would perhaps withhold judgment at this time.
Spoken like a true ambassador. He opens the door. You see the same elf, a kind of middle-aged, quite well-dressed elf. He's clearly been quite badly beaten. Look, it's got like a rope in his mouth, and he's sort of gagged. And Darenkaitis turns to you and says, "It is very good that I have someone of such shrewd judgment as part of my, hopefully, close counsel." And he turns to the ambassador and then sticks a knife in his throat. The ambassador sort of gurgles a little bit, and blood spills out of his mouth. He turns back and says, "Unfortunately, I do not do traitors any services. You'd be wise to understand that."
Yeah. Fucking hell. Cascus tries. Do you need me to roll? I mean, he's trying to appear very nonchalant.
Make a
about the whole ordeal.
constitution check. This is quite a gory sight.
Constitution check. Yeah, fine. If my buttons are working. Is that just an... Where do I... I'm confused now. I thought you just click on the...
Sorry, fortitude saving throw.
Yeah, I was about to say.
one. Thank you. Interesting, you can't do a 21.
Yeah, you're kind of like you managed to, you're not barfing, but you're clearly quite uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Quite obviously quite uncomfortable. He turns to you as he wipes the bloodied knife on his like trouser legs, and he just whispers in your ear and says, "Do not make me do the same to you. And he walks off. And the guard just sort of is just kind of looking forward, just not. He's just left you in the doorway, just staring at this.
Cascus goes over to the ambassador and he places a hand on him, and he says a couple words. Not, he's not a man of the gods or kind of nature, but in this moment, it feels like a rather callous way to end the life of somebody who's just trying to be there for his people.
Yeah.
And he kind of closes his eyes for a moment. And is there any can I do a quick, maybe sleight of hand to see if I can take anything of his?
He's pretty much only wearing his clothes. Whatever valuables or possessions he had on him was probably confiscated before he went in the cell. So he doesn't really have anything on him.
Okay. Unfortunately. Okay, fine. But I think he's going to try and keep a lookout for at least information on who he was, because presumably House Rexus has some kind of office or something in the city.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, I mean, there's probably someone in the city that you can speak to on behalf of House Rexus, but I mean, it might have been him, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Okay,
yeah, you're sort of just left awkwardly standing in the dungeons,
Yeah. I mean, as best as possible to get more of an understanding of layout. While he's kind of getting out, that would be handy, especially service entrances, sewer, anything like that.
Sure.
Would
Yeah.
be handy
Make
to
me
know
a
a bit
perception
more
check on your way
information.
out, then we'll go.
Yeah.
As you're walking back out.
The 35.
Cool. Well, I don't have a map of it, but I could. Yeah. Let's just say from now on, a pretty good layout of at least the first floor and the dungeons of the palace. But yeah, in future uses that might come in handy.
And does he have a did he, were there any kind of service entry or anything that would be?
Yeah, so
potentially
I mean, there's a sort of, the palace itself is circular, right? So there's a walkway that goes all the way around the outside of it as well. So there's loads of doors that go in and out. Often it's servants that use those side entrances. And there's kitchens, and there's various living quarters for servants. There's a few Kirak stables around the back and things like that. As for sewers, there probably is, but the entrances to the sewers from this particular area don't seem that obvious. There might well be large sewer links from where Cyan had gone. That goes further into the palace, but the chances are the closer towards the prophet's palace it goes, the more security there is, and the more likely that is to be watched over, and all this stuff.
Okay, cool. There was just one more question I wanted to kind of ask the various courtiers, and that was around if there's any business or anyone heard what happened to Nerian. So this is the city we went to before we kind of went north to the
yeah.
So this was House Rexus, right, in their lands.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to kind of want to ask the ambassador about it, but I guess not now. Yeah. So basically, any information about what happened and with the army of the dead that was there as well that we kind of ran away from would be interesting.
Your previous diplomacy check was a 36, right? Is that right?
When I was doing my 36. Yeah.
Okay, cool. As part of that, I'll say that you heard that there was an Ignis fleet, which supported the Ignis army and ended up taking Nerian. However, there has been some rumors of the dead, causing loads of chaos in that area as well. So it's not quite clear what's happened to it yet.
Yeah, and no information on the soldiers that were coming down from Essus.
No. There's just not that much information that's gone through that area. You're probably one of the first groups to really have made that trek.
Yeah.
Who had
Yeah, I was just thinking, would a messenger have even beaten us here?
Chances are probably not, especially because there were so many blockaded roads, and
we did teleport quite well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Like
Cool.
if they
Well,
had beelined it on on a horse or something, they might have been able to get there before.
But
But
aren't I
carrots.
right in thinking there's a what was the messenger network? There was something. I might be
That's
completely.
within the
Was it
temples,
among the
not the
temples?
side and arrow.
The-
The other ones,
Yeah, the ones who wear
yeah,
the hats and things.
the,
the
the priests.
fishbowl dudes.
Fishbowl dudes.
Yeah, but they're unreliable.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, that's I think
Cool.
that's useful. I mean, it's useful information that the mum and the padron are locked up, but there was no suggestion anywhere of Princess Rendar being around.
No, yeah. You heard that she's usually around the chambers of the council, but that you need an invitation to go in there.
Okay. But if I imagine if I dinner, maybe she might turn up.
Yeah, yeah. Like just lingering about, she'll probably walk past you at some point.
Mm.
But there's no guarantee day by day.
Yeah.
Like it's just a random event that might happen.
Okay, cool. Well, that was useful.
Cool. Let's have a break here. Yeah, and then we'll come
Alright.
back in 15 minutes, and then we'll go over what else people wanted to do. All right.
Cool.
See you in a bit. Our sweet, saucy, covered,
Shut up.
but also just regular nuggets.
Pride. All right, so welcome back. Just before the break, Cascus had gone to the Palace of the Prophet and spoke with Darren Codus. I guess has been invited into Darren Codus' inner circle for whatever reason. Whilst Henning and Cyan went to the River District, went to the Eldertree, where they spoke with some cloaked strangers wearing, as Richard made out, very many cloaks by my ambiguous description of them.
Covered.
That's just canon now, FYI. They're just always wearing like 5 cloaks at a time. It's all good. It's all
Glorious.
They're called the Fold because they have to spend years
yeah, exactly.
folding they spent
folding on their washing up.
Yeah.
Their clothes washing. That's why they have a tree, because they've got fucking loads of space to hang up clothes on.
Oh my
And
god,
they have a secret technique as well, where they have to they are able to actually remove the innermost layers, so they're never actually unclothed. They're just having this like rotating series of cloaks.
Yeah, this is my favorite cult I've ever come up with. All right, so yeah, the day continues. What would you all like to do? Are you planning on meeting up at some point?
I think so. Yeah, again at some point.
Yeah.
There's also, I mean, if we can disguise it somehow through the celebrations in the Sun District, I don't know. Not that. I don't know.
I wouldn't want to meet in the Sun District. I feel like Kaidos would want to make an appearance during the festivities.
Okay. So maybe the North. Maybe we can organize this through Nyx, right? So.
Yeah.
Next, can flip between party members and organize people to some place. Right. So yeah, what do you want to do?
Well, I still want to have a look at the exterior of that garrison.
Oh,
Get
sure.
an idea.
Yeah. What sort of thing are you looking for? Guard rotation.
Guard rotations at the moment, yeah.
Well, you know that you managed to get in there quite easily before.
Yeah.
There is a garrison nearby, but the guards there generally don't seem that fussed. But if you want to spend the night just watching,
I'll do that probably tomorrow if we're planning on meeting up tonight.
cool. Okay. So, yeah, I guess you head back to the heavy rest.
Sorry, that's not me. Ignore me.
Okay.
I assume are we all meeting at the Heads Heavy Rest?
Well,
We can-
Nyx appears in front of you and lets you know that people are going back to the heads heavy rest.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I mean, if
People are going back to the heads heavy rest if you want to come.
that's thank you. Anila is indisposed, I think, for the evening, so it will just be me.
Very well. And Nyx disappears.
Okay. So Cascus, can he go like a completely different way this time? He's going to try and vary routes. Rule 1, vary your route. And go somewhere else. If there's a way that I can use like a different exit, maybe out. I don't know if I can, because it was kind of like.
There's kind of one entrance into this, like via the green hold, but then once you're in arm's square, you can obviously vary whatever way you go.
Yeah. Well, he's going to basically make a concerted effort to go different ways. And,
Cool.
But end up there eventually.
Cool. All right. Again, you make in good time and arrive back at the Heads Heavy Rest, where the rest of the group are carousing, I guess.
I assume we go up to somebody's room.
If that's what you want to do.
Okay, cool. I knock on the door.
After a moment, someone opens. You notice the rest of the group inside.
I kind of pull back my hood. Good evening.
Good evening.
Right.
Ooh, well, I imagine you did not have as strange a day as I did.
Oh yeah, we did.
You first, but I reckon we've got a good chance there.
Okay, well, he kind of sits down in a chair, takes his gloves off, and puts his feet up on somebody's bed, and like splecks of mud go on somebody's bedding.
Oh come on!
Hey,
what? What is the problem?
just a dirty. Oh, whatever.
Oh, these. Oh, fine. He kind of takes his feet off, but he doesn't really care.
There's a bit of blood on there.
Yeah. So I went to the Palace of the Prophet again today, as I said last night I would. And as I entered the main hall of the kind of audience chamber, Darren Kaitis was in session again. And there was a poor ambassador from House Araxis who was petitioning for his people and the plight they're facing, to which Darren Kaitis did not have much sympathy at all, and for his sins threw him in the dungeon. The weird bit is he then decided to summon me, of all people. I am a bit concerned. His interest in me feels slightly artificial and unwarranted. Perhaps he is just curious to see another human, but it makes me worry that he is connecting Henera and myself and wants to dig a bit deeper. In any case, and then he kind of outlines what happened. I won't go into all of that. And then he also touches at the end on the point around Narian as well, and the fact that he feels like he has a pretty good layout of the dungeons and top floor. Maybe there's like a crude bit of paper or something, and he tries to kind of draw it out a bit for everyone. And he kind of finishes his tale like that. And he says, "Well, so that was my day. So I'm looking forward to an invitation to dinner soon. It would be worth us maybe having a think about what I should do in that space."
Right. So you're busy mates now then?
Please. Can I withhold the bit about the execution of the ambassador? I just don't, knowing that like somebody could say something somewhere, I don't want to share that bit, if that's all right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you could always tell people not to say it.
Yeah,
as
I know.
well,
I trust these people.
Fair enough.
No, actually, you're right. I'm sure I can I'll just say not to repeat it. Hopefully nobody gets their mind read or something. So yeah, I'm going to continue to try and ascertain as much information as I can in court. But if there is any particular questions or areas or people I could meet that would be of use for you all, please do let me know.
Oh, the Padron and his mother's locked away.
That is correct. I fear entrance there will be incredibly challenging. Nothing short of a well thought out heist might get them out.
See, that does put a wrench in the works. If we go ahead with exposing Darren right off the bat, and say he hypothetically has them imprisoned or under his lookout, which I imagine he would do, he'd have a bargaining chip.
Yes. Although at this point, he does not know that our ambition is to free the Patron. No? He would just see us as people who want to discredit him.
I think you're doing very good, and I think you should pretend to go along with him. Earn his trust somehow.
You know, usually somebody has to pay me money to do that. Character growth, eh?
If you're close to him, maybe he'll be more privy with giving you information.
That is true, but he will expect me to do things to prove my loyalty. And I am willing, of course, to go through with that, but it could have... you would just have to understand that I was doing it for a reason.
That's a fair What have you got to say about this?
Not really sure, to be honest. I mean, if you can get in with him, get on his good side, it's not going to certainly not going to harm us, is it?
It's always good to have powerful friends.
Well, unless it
Well,
does.
he's not our friend.
Well,
There is, of course, the risk that if you're in deep with him and then you go against him, maybe he takes it a bit more personal.
Or he already knows you're full of shit. He does know about Hanera.
Don't think he's going to trust you, but
A man
Right.
like him trusts very, very few people, if any. I do not think he trusts even his closest allies.
I suspect you've gotten stuff out of people that didn't trust you before.
In my time, I have. But men at his power, they are chronically skeptical of everyone and paranoid that the person next to them will stick a dagger in their own throat.
Maybe we could use that.
Maybe. Sorry, go on. You go.
Do you know if he has any specific allies at court?
I only know what you said yesterday. I know he has allies. I wonder if this dinner would give me a better sense of who those allies could be. It is a risk
So
in showing them to me, but it is a possibility.
perhaps if you could find one of his allies, I could plant some evidence that you uncovered.
But we would need to know who the allies are first, no? First.
Exactly.
Okay. It is an idea, but would it... We might be... Yeah. I think that is not a bad idea. We need him to be skeptical that even his friends are out for him. We need him to trust no one. It could lead him to be more erratic for sure, but it would isolate him at the very least, which might not be a bad thing.
Could pull his attention elsewhere if we can think of the right evidence to place. Perhaps we find evidence of his collaboration with Ignis that one of his allies were planning to blackmail him with.
That is a good idea. Is there not nothing you could do through your dealings with the Fold and the various other groupings in the underbelly of the city?
We're not working with the Fold.
Okay. I'm
The
sorry to
Fold... They want us to... The only way they'll work with us is if they want us to leave the city.
hear. That is not going to happen, is it?
Not only that, they worship the old gods and basically want to revert Adenir to a primal, primitive time before the Age of Gods. Yay!
That is most unwelcome news, but not a surprise.
They also knew I was not an elf.
How so?
That special tree knows things.
it's a very clever tree.
It's a very clever tree. It knows when you're lying.
Knows me. You get the idea.
It knows when you've been sleeping. It knows when you're awake. It knows if you've been very good.
Oh, good. So you better be good.
Was it the
For
tree
goodness sake.
itself? I mean, branches from that thing could be quite handy.
I would recommend not desecrating the sacred tree. We might upset other people.
Suppose you're right. Okay, well, if we cannot use that, I suppose the Ignis root would do, but I feel it is a little contrived, no? We could not... no other options?
I could have a look in the Undercity. He does have mention of other enemies. Whisperleaf Collective. We should have a look at the gauntlet. The Whisperleaf Collective, he kind of considers them a wild card. Heretics. They could have some dirt we could use.
It's a good idea. But, I think the dinner, yeah, I agree. We might need to do that after this, in a day or so. But,
You should go to the dinner. I'll have a look in the Undercity, see what connections I can make.
Calcifer, what about you?
Mm.
I'm sorry that you are somewhat, all of you are removed from this engagement, Titus, but I hope you understand it improves our odds dramatically to avoid detection and hopefully achieve our aim.
Nah, I get it. I got shit to do here anyway. Cyan, how are you thinking of going about this?
That was what? There's a lot of this is...
About, going having your look around in the Undercity.
Well, the closest way to get in deep with the Whisperleaf Collective is the Gauntlet.
Yeah, I mean,
So,
we're already gonna do that, right?
on top of that, I imagine there's some criminal elements in the Undercity. Maybe a job or two. Get in deep with them. And their trust. And a bit of coin on the side.
I should be able to.
Yep.
If I've got time, I should be able to finish off my my flail tomorrow. Then I'll be ready.
Having you around when I'm talking with these criminal types be a good idea. Got to bring some muscle with you.
All right, I'll come with you. Bit burnt out on this carbon for the day anyway. Need a break. Yeah, just making sure you're not planning on going, sneaking off around the place, and that I'll just hold you back.
I've had experience with a lot of criminals in my time. I mean, hell, look at me. I know what's up. And I know having a big half-orc in a city full of elves, it'll get some notice. And that kind of notice could get us snatched up by some very informative people.
Alright, subtlety it isn't them.
Sounds good.
Alright, before we split off, another matter of business. We really need a fucking name.
Oh my god.
Yes, we do. Right.
I've obviously none of these like super solid or anything. But I did note a few down while I was taking breaks. With I might have had some assistance from I don't know this I had a little
chat so viewers can see them.
I had a little chat with some woman down in the bar. It was chat with he was Gwendolyn Peter Thompson.
I hate all of them. Thank you.
All right. It's just I mean, it's a starting point, you know. I'm thinking someone along that theme.
I like them.
Well, of course you would.
They are very logical, very sensible, and they betray a team with a great minds behind them.
Diplomatic's not even a team name. It's ridiculous.
Well, why not?
Hagglers is the only one.
I like the hagglers. I also
The hag.
to do with hags. We kill hags.
Male hagglers. I do not mind these.
I vote the Hagglers if we're going to have any of them.
These are just some you know, some a point for brainstorming.
I would shortlist hagglers and merchants.
It's fucking scrolling.
The fact that it's so big in comparison to the city as well, like just booming across town.
What's that?
Just how it comes up on the map.
Plenipotentiary Adventures of the Realm's leading exports in New York.
Who did you ask to do this?
I don't know, but they had I swear they carried a. It was weird. They had a dictionary with them, like
The local nutter.
thesaurus. I mean, who just carries a thesaurus around with them? It's weird. Yeah, Gwendolyn Peter Thompson. She said her name was. I had a chat with her, and then
Okay, well,
How much did they charge you for this?
I don't know. They were talking about how at the moment they're just sort of talking with people for free, but maybe it's that at some point it's going to all be very expensive. It's kind of a lost leader.
Brilliant.
Well, it's certainly informative, Cass.
Yeah, they kept just like they spat out a bunch of these, but yeah, believe it or not, these were the best ones that as far as I thought. We could probably do better if we put our minds together.
Well, why don't you sit down and have another think? But I think some of these could carry on to the next round of names you pull up. If this is your job, you have decided it to be.
Yeah. If anyone's got any sort of themes they want to make sure are in there, then
Burning.
yeah, put them on the table.
No, I don't think it would be a good idea if we let people know about burning.
Wait,
whenever we wanted
what
to
have we
vote
got
for
to
them.
do? What have we got to do with burning? I can't remember.
The hag burners.
No, nothing.
Nah, that
We
wasn't
don't
even
burn.
us.
We don't burn anything. Okay, so that's enough of that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
then why'd
tree
you
burners.
No, we don't burn trees.
why'd you bring it up then?
The elf burners.
I didn't bring it up.
Didn't you?
Sign. Why are you
Oh,
talking
did
about burning?
whatever.
You, that
Okay,
was you.
If this conversation is going to devolve, I am going to go to bed.
That's fair.
I
Right,
gotta
you're gonna.
go to bed. I'm tired.
I think
gonna
you
head
mean you're gonna sleep on it.
I'm going to sleep on it.
Right. Okay. I say we get some names together, and maybe in a couple of days or so, we maybe agree on one. Maybe put it to a vote.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe bring some to the table.
Okay.
Fine.
That's a good idea.
So I head off.
Okay, so you're gonna head back off to. There's still plenty of daylight left.
Oh, fine.
It's not
Oh, I thought
necessarily
this was
like
the evening.
I mean, I guess we could enjoy the festival, but I don't know if there's a way to do it where, like, I don't kind of mingle with them. I don't know if there's a way we can get around that.
If there's daylight left, I'll still do the scouting out of the guard rotations in the night then. Like, I figured the meeting was going to happen in the evening.
I mean, just it doesn't necessarily need to be entirely chronological how we do these things.
Alright, okay.
If there's something else you want to do.
Is there something else I want to do?
Well, didn't you want to check out the Undercity?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Carl. Maybe you three go to. I mean, can I go as? No, I probably can't go as well. That's probably a bad idea.
If you just, I mean, don't feel like you can't go as a group to things. I'm not going to punish you for going as a group.
Okay, I will. Okay, let's kind of agree that it'd be interesting for Caskis to get a sense of the underground, but he's gonna wear the cloakists of cloakists.
Be doing a full cosplay.
And if anyone asks, he's an old lady holding a baby.
Wait.
Where did you get the baby from?
I don't know. Well, so
Where did
people
you steal
don't.
that baby?
Caskets, put that baby back.
It's this little bundle of rags.
Of bones that I've collected for my victims.
Yeah.
Baby bones.
Basically to avoid people going and kind of, you know.
Jesus.
He's literally going to try and like cosplay as an old granny.
Okay, nice. All right, cool. Well, in your best old granny disguise, the rest of you head off, flanked by an old granny. You make your way up the Dawn Road towards the Undercity. And before long, you arrive back. Oh no, Richard, I just saw the other one.
That's what we were laughing at.
That's a good one. It's actually quite good. Anyway, let's move on. So, passing through the Dawn Road and heading towards the tunnel that leads to the Undercity again. Now, so Cascus, this is the first time I guess you've been here, as well as Henning. Just bear with me. Yeah, so I'll describe it for you two again. So as you descend into the depths of Lenora, there's a sense of quiet which descends upon you. The air grows cooler and carries the faint scent of damp earth and ancient stone. The torchlight flickers against rough-hewn walls, casting long shadows that seem to dance to the rhythm of the underground river. Let me just change the music. The Undercity stretches out before you, a sprawling maze of dimly lit passages and forgotten chambers. The architecture here is a stark departure from the graceful arches and polished marble of the surface. Instead, you encounter rough-hewn stone walls, uneven floors, and patches of luminescent moss that cast an eerie bioluminescent glow. Intricate carvings of elven history and forgotten lore adorn some walls, their meanings obscured by the passage of time. You see patches of fungi clinging to damp corners, and you hear the sound of dripping water echoing in the distance, as well as the rushing of the river below. And yes. So let me just move you all over to the Undercity picture.
Mm-hmm.
So you arrive on the upper tiers, and you just sort of make your way down. You've explored a little bit of the Whisperleaf Collective, and the Shadow Market, but I'm not sure what you want to do. What's the goal here?
So, Cyan wants to have a look at the criminal elements of the Undercity, see if he can find groups before we all decide. Before he wants to get like a general idea as to like what kind of gangs are around, that kind of thing, and like to get some like basic idea of like get some groups we can foster some relationships with.
Okay. Make me an investigation check. Perception check. Sorry.
Perception. I'm gonna use a legend point. So that would be a 28.
So, eventually, just asking around, a number of the locals around here seem quite hesitant to speak with you, but eventually you come across a number of figures wearing black, wearing silver masks. who are haggling over something. And as you approach, they all sort of turn and look at you. Their leader, I guess a gang, some sort of gang leader, a quite well built, quite tall elf, whose skin is kind of ashy grey, kind of turning almost drow in look. Puts out a hand and says, "Not one more step forward. Who are you?"
Hi. Hello. Hello there. You can call me Casimir. And these are my companions. When you here?
What did you say, sorry? What was the second thing?
When you here?
Oh, yeah.
And we were looking for some good, honest work.
Right, a few of them laugh. The leader turns to the rest of them, puts a hand up and says, "No such thing as honest work down here. But I can give you work if you need it."
What kind of work?
What are you good for?
Well, if you need to ask. While we're having this conversation, like, they would have been, like, rather far away from us, right?
They're sort of standing on, like, the other side of one of the bridges. As you approach, they sort of began to fan out, and just in case you wanted to start a fight, they're holding on to like bats and various blunt weapons that they might use to extort people with. The leader doesn't seem to be carrying any weapon at all.
Along the way, could I have done, like, a thievery check on someone's coin purse?
What, the slap hand?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't. There's not a sleight of hand thing.
No,
it's
yeah,
just
but that's yeah, it's like
Yeah.
that. You wanted to basically pickpocket someone.
Yeah.
Okay, make a roll. Yeah, you took a small coin purse that has like 5 silver in it.
I toss it his way.
He catches it, opens it up, and has a look inside. What's this supposed to be?
Oh, come on. He looks like someone who knows what I'm talking about.
It's a good way to get yourself killed in this city. Stealing from the people here.
Can I do a sense motive check on him?
Yeah, go.
Like, saying that, like, to me, it implies he has this kind of idea of himself. Oh.
He throws the coin purse to one of his companions, who just pockets it. So you're a thief. That's what you're good for. Well, you're not here to steal from us, are you?
Of course not. Like I said, I'm here for work.
Who put you up to this? Was it one of the Eye Lords? One of the people above?
Do I look like someone who wants to work with some High Lords?
He narrows his eyes and looks you up and down. No. You look like you don't know anything about this city. Neither do your friends.
Perceptive.
He turns to you. An orc in Lenora. Now I've seen everything. You want some work? There's some people that owe us money. If you want to get it from them, bring it to me. Then we can talk.
Depends. Is it about the message or the money?
Money is the message.
Well, who are we collecting from, and where will we find you?
You'll find us here. This is our turf. I'm Sylvain.
Can I have that in writing, please?
It's here.
Oh, so it is. Yes.
I think you might have missed my point a little bit there. Is it important that they know that this money is coming back to you? Or do you just want the money?
Depends how easily they give it away.
Nobody can go against the charms of an old lady.
Jesus fucking Christ.
Turns to you, raises an eyebrow.
Sorry,
What the
I
fuck
didn't
is
like-
that?
Is the voice authentically an old lady, or does it just sound like Cascus is
I-
just
Make a
trying to
performance
sound
check.
Hold on,
like
let me work on my Cascus key. Loy.
Jesus fucking Christ.
No, I'm not. I guess I okay. Hey!
Just ready. Who's this old geezer? This old lady you got with you? She looks like she's never been in this city before either.
Young man. No, I can't do it. Young. This is not how you treat your elders. She kind of shuffles forward and like kicks him in the shin really lightly.
You're in the shit.
roll initiative.
Just really gently, you know. It's old lady vibes. It's not threatening, you know.
Right.
And
He takes it and he just starts laughing. all his gang friends start laughing as well.
She's very wise.
She knows what she's doing.
Sounds like she fucking doesn't. But
you know, when you get to my age, there's not many people of my renown at my age. It means a lot. I'd like to see you doing what you're doing at 1,000.
1,000.
you're pretending to be an old elf, are you?
Well, you're gonna have to now.
Oh, a really old human.
Yeah, it's a lich. It's just a lich.
I mean, that is scarier, right? If she's a 1,000-year-old
I mean,
human.
He doesn't quite know what to say to that. He says,
Allow my actions to speak for themselves.
right, well, listen. Usually a bunch of fucking foreigners turning up and telling me what to do isn't going to go so well, but you know what? You've got balls, old lady.
Why, thank you.
Categorically doesn't.
I like that. I like your balls.
I like old ladies with balls. I like old lady balls.
Balls of an old lady.
Oh, that's the group name, Old Lady Balls.
Balls of a lady.
What the fuck is this? What is happening?
He says, there's an elf on the upper city in the North Ward. Her name's Elariana. Silver Shadow is what goes by. She owes me a good sum of money. She's an addict, if you know what I mean. She's dangerous. She's killed a few of my lads already. You get some if you get that money she owes me, then we can talk.
Really? Richard.
No, no, you bastard.
If you can do that, it's a lot of money. Then we might have a deal. Might be able to help you out. Otherwise, if you want our services, I recommend you a bit more polite in the future.
Keep that in mind.
Go on, piss off, he says, sort of turn around. I'm getting bored of your balls.
We'll take our balls and leave.
Fucking Christ. Take a shot every time someone mentions balls.
Hank's like,
Is Hank muted?
Is Hank muted?
Muted.
Muted.
Oh, neutered. Sorry, I think it said muted. I was like, Hank isn't really on the chat. So.
Yeah, really.
I know. It's quite realistic.
I'm not sure. I'm
I've got,
not
okay,
sure Castle would have
confused
checked.
Have a pair of the
I don't think he is.
I don't think he would have
Right.
grown to his size.
Yeah, the number of the gang start laughing and they just make sort of dismissive hand gestures towards you.
Are we leaving the Undercity then?
Well, you don't have to. You can just carry on seeing what else you find.
I want to kind of shop around, so to speak.
Okay. The shadow
I-
market would be best.
I mean, like, shop around as in, like, contacts.
Or
Like-
information as well?
Yeah, like I don't want to stop at the first gang I see. You know, like these might just be shitty low-level gangsters who can't really give us what we need.
Yeah. All right. So you also the three most famous gangs in the Undercity. You come to find out just from talking to people and just like spending a little bit of time in the Undercity is the Whisperleaf Collective, the Sylvain Gang, and the Hellfast Gang. The Sylvain Gang are known mostly for being money lenders, but also have a bit of like that some people are being very shady about what they do, but they sort of insinuate to you that they're like hitmen and like mercenaries and that lot. The Hellfest Gang deal in contraband.
They're like the drug dealers and things.
And then obviously the Whisperleaf Collective are the like kind of religious culty gang.
Sorry, how fast is...
Contraband.
Okay.
Did we determine? Well, did we determine last time we were here that Achidian is a thing here?
Yeah.
I also
The
want.
Hellfest Gang would be the people who deal with that the most.
I also want to see if anyone has anything to say about this Silver Shadow lady. If there's any intel on her around.
Yeah, okay. Make a diplomacy check.
Okay. Roll high, sire. 26.
You see an old elf just sort of minding his business, whittling a sort of a piece of bark. He's got like a little stool that he whittles leaves, branches and things into like tiny little idols. I guess just of worship or just sort of little models or whatever. He says, Oh yeah, that Silver Shadow. Yeah, she's a bit of a crazy one. She involves herself in the forbidden magics. Sort of gives you a knowing nod.
Do we know what she means by that? Or they mean by that, sorry?
Probably just any sort of arcane magic, really. Yeah, she's got a shop in the North Ward. She comes down here every now and again. Has dealings with the Halfus gang and the Sylvain gang. I'd stay away from her if I was you.
So she's a regular high-paying customer of the Hellfast gang.
Aye. But more recently, she's gotten herself in trouble with debts. So she's not been here that much. Last I heard that she killed 6 of the Sylvain gang's members when they tried to collect it. She's got a bounty on her head now.
Bounty?
Aye.
Who posted the bounty?
Well, there's a bounty from the Halfus gang. The Sylvain gang obviously have their reasons for wanting her gone as well.
How much
I
is
heard-
the bounty?
Well, it just seems to change day by day, to be honest. But I heard she stole... Don't tell anyone I said this. Sort of whispers in. I heard she stole 6 bags of Acidian from the Hellfest gang.
Oh,
Ooh.
I see.
Aye.
Thanks for letting us know.
Knowing some others, that's enough to really fuck yourself up. It's probably long gone by now. There's no way people can handle that level for long. Like from speaking to this guy, you're sort of beginning to get the understanding that maybe the Sylvain gang have just sent you on this because they don't really trust you. But in the event that you do manage to get that stuff from her, then it's beneficial for them. But it's insinuated like the guy that you're speaking to is insinuating that she's quite powerful.
Yeah. Like either we get the stuff or they get rid of some just pesky pests that are just going around.
Prowling around, yeah.
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 Thanks, friend. And I toss him a copper.
A copper?
Well, not a copper, sorry. Yeah, silver, actually.
The coppers.
You want one of these? He points to one of the many carved figures that he has on the show.
How much are they?
Well, for a silver, you can have whatever you want.
Sure. What kind of ones are there?
There's all sorts of strange little beings. There's kind of like goblin-esque looking figures. There's figures with multiple arms. There's a little Rakshasa figure.
I pick up the Rakshasa one.
He nods. Alright, gives you luck.
Thank you.
Rakshasas are lucky, if you ever see one. Or unlucky, I guess. Depends.
for them.
Yeah, it depends on which side you're on.
To be fair, I think
Good
you're pretty
to
lucky
know.
in the sense that adventurers will just randomly be like, hey, we're going to just give you things that you want.
Put it in your vault. It'll be
Yeah.
fine. Oh, hey, have a look at this tower. That's totally not going to explode. Oh no, it exploded. Fucking Christ.
The old man's like, are you just venting or what?
Sorry, I had a weird dream last night.
Yeah, don't even where that knowledge came from. It's past life or something, I don't know.
Yeah, it's so strange.
Had a
Did
weird
you
dream.
ever see Dream Calcifer?
Yeah, must have been the tea at that place.
Jesus.
Not that I drink tea.
Yeah, just meth.
It's just meth. They gave us a bunch of
Ah, you
meth.
you gotta have. I mean, you gotta have something to keep you focused on the rune etching.
Yeah. Anyway, I think I have an idea, guys.
Right.
Sylvain, she's in trouble with both of them. We have a way in with the Sylvain gang. What say we deliver some of this Acadian back to the Halifax gang?
What are we doing here?
And some good... What do you mean?
Getting involved with all this. And we just kind of sort of came down here to get a rundown of what's going on, right?
Mhm.
And suddenly we're looking at, stealing a kitty and getting it back to whoever. What are we doing?
Places like this, if you want something known, or you want something done, and it's not necessarily the most legal work, you need to build some connections first.
And what is it we want done?
Well, there's...
Well, we want information on ministers and members of the elite circle that are, that have that.
dirty, dirty little secrets.
I think planting a KDN or something like that in their office is a juvenile attempt at best. It will be seen through rather quickly by whoever the target is. It will be quite obvious.
But if they have regular users, they probably have some blackmail. If there's regular users among the council or other rich bastards, friends of Kaidas, they'll be known through these gangs. Build some rapport with them. Maybe they'll tell us a few things here and there. Coin doesn't hurt as well.
Mm.
Think of it as espionage.
I am concerned that my position. I just hope that my cover is not blown through this act.
Are you kidding, Granny? You're doing great.
I feel like I would not be useful wearing these clothes if I was embroiled in a fight with an arcane magic user who is, clearly quite dangerous.
Well, if we do it right, we won't need to fight her.
I don't know. Fighting people's all I'm really good for. Fighting craft. That's about it, really.
I mean, we could try to, but what we do though, we cannot. Insofar as she stays in the city, she is going to be a target. I don't think she would have left if she felt, troubled. I don't see what we can offer her without fighting.
I was talking about stealth. Stealthing the stuff away from her. Though she'll want to keep the Acadian protected.
What do you think, Henning? Do you think we should do it? Try and use it to build a reputation, have access to better information, or just move on and try something else?
Yeah, let's give it a go. I'm all for it.
I kind of look to Cyan and Galcifer, just reading their body language. What's their vibe on this?
Cyan looks like he's more comfortable than he has been in a while. Well, at least when it comes to places with elves. The Cyan's used to criminal elements, so he's kind of giving off like he at least looks confident.
Calcifer is clearly just, he's like kind of, kind of mouth up to the side, etc., kind of. He clearly doesn't think it's a great idea, but he's willing to go along with it.
Well, I think we have a degree of consensus, unless you have anything more to add, Calcifer.
Just wondering what my part in this is going to be. I guess hang out nearby and charge in if shit hits the fan.
Well, I think it's probably likely to come to that outcome. I'm sorry we have not a clear use for your weaponry. Why don't you have a look for I don't know if there is like a guild of fighters, not trademark, or something to spend your hours if you crave the violence of battle.
I can wet my teeth in that gauntlet. I mean, it's not. Yeah, don't get me wrong. It's not like I'm just itching for a fight anytime we're gonna get one. I'm not bloodthirsty, but you know, didn't exactly. Yeah, I wasn't exactly recruited for my espionage and stealth skills, you know.
Well, I don't expect it to last all that long.
I'm here to keep you lot alive.
You've done a wonderful job.
And if that means waiting on the wings while you lot go into wherever, ready to come save your ass, that's what it means.
Oh, so cute. Yes, does the kawaii eyes.
All right, Granny, put them away.
In the granny costume. Yeah. All right. Okay,
Sign does the weird peace sign thing with his eye, like.
Oh god! Right, let's stop
Yeah,
this.
it's the northward.
I think we are going there. Yeah.
All right, so making your way out of the Undercity, you arrive back in the central district whilst heading towards the northward. As you make your way down the brief span towards the tunnel of the northward, an elf hops out of an alleyway near you and stands between you and the road, just looking at you.
Can we help you?
Not one step further, all of you.
Yeah, this again. We're on a bit of a time limit here, buddy.
You a fan or something?
Something like
We
that.
don't sign autographs, I'm afraid.
You hear the drawing of bows, and you all look up on the roofs of the houses that are nearby. You see a number of elves dressed in what seem to be kind of leather, natural sort of clothing, cloaks, like with moss and leaves surrounding them. The elf who stands before you raises an eyebrow and has a sly smile and says, "Don't say we didn't warn you. We did tell you to leave."
Oh, well, of course.
Oh, god damn it.
And yeah, they raise their bows and prepare to fire. So I think maybe what we'll do is we'll end off here for today.
Oh,
Okay.
fucking
So
Christ.
we can kick back
I'm
off with
definitely burning this tree.
Joanne.
Yeah.
Oh my god, damn. Take.
Gonna fold you in half.
Nice one.
Cool. Well, thanks for playing, everyone.
Thanks for
Okay.
running
Thanks
as
for running.
always.
Great session.
And yeah, see you next week. Little
No, shut up.
Russian nuggets.
Matrushka nuggets within nuggets.
Oh yeah, that's the thing, isn't it?
Yeah.
Matryoshka, isn't it?
Matryoshka. Yeah, sounds maybe more correct.
Matryoshka nugget.
Wait, that can be our name. Matryoshka.
Matryoshka nugget.
Yeah. We are the Matryoshka Nuggets. Like, what? Who? Okay, see you next week. Bye.